Hi guys, it's Uldouz and welcome to the Uldouz Show. Today I have a very special guest. His name is Jason Falovitch and he used to be the manager of Evander Holyfield and he's the co-owner of NFT, Playline and Leverage with Mark Cuban. So thank you so much, Jason, for joining me today on my show.
My pleasure.
And
I'm happy to be here. Happy to see you.
thank
Uldouz
you.
June, my June.
June. Yes, I'm
June.
Persian.
I fucking love Persians. I love just good vibes with them. Good people.
Do you eat like a lot of Persian food?
I love Persian food. I just love Persians. Like my boy, I don't know if you know my boy Tohi, Puban,
Yeah.
Imani, who I don't know if you know Amir, who's a great collector in NFTs.
Yeah.
Manjar, like there's such 3F, like the amount of Persians in the NFT space, and they're all fucking amazing people. Nimani's cool too. Like I love Persians, I really do, and I love you too. So that's
Oh,
perfect.
thank you so much. I'm like, hell yeah.
My Junettes.
Yes. June. So I'm just gonna put it out there because I'm sure a lot of people they're still like not understanding and everything. But what exactly is an NFT and why would you want to invest in it, or like why did you want to focus on that?
Sure. So is it best to tell you where how I got started in NFTs? Because
Yeah.
that's kind of the cool part, I think.
Mhm.
So I want to say back in 2019, I sold half of one of my companies to Mark Cuban. It was a social media company, and then we joined forces, and we were getting involved in the social space and just creating more platforms together. And then in January, Mark says to us, he goes, "We're going all in on NFTs." I'm like, "What the fuck is an NFT?" Like most
Yeah.
people said. I went on Instagram and I looked at the hashtags and it was like 1,200 hashtags. I'm like, why is he so big on this shit? I went to Google NFT. It was like nothing there. No
Yeah.
one knew. I didn't know what it was. But I realized like last time Mark said he's going all in on something, he put $1 billion into Amazon. So I figure the genius he is, he knows what he's talking about. And that's how I got into NFTs actually. So
Yeah.
people look at me as the pioneer of the space. I built at NFT across social, and I kind of brought it into the mainstream. And we were just the only ones and built it very well.
Mhm.
But in reality, Cuban put that on my radar. So that's how I got started. I want to say about January, February 2021.
Mhm.
It's when I jumped in, and then it just became an amazing ride. And we built the greatest platforms I think ever. And NFT was almost like a cultural revolution. um, it was just for our generation, this is our dot-com boom, right? So it was a huge undertaking we took, but I think we did a fantastic job in building the NFT brand and bring it into the mainstream. What is an NFT?
Yeah.
A non-fungible token. So
Yes.
it's almost like a digital letter of authenticity. It says what you own is real, and there's no
Yeah.
way you can question it because everything's in the blockchain.
Exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
so basically I'm a big fan of like NFTs. I believe that this is like the future and this is the way of the future, even more like than cryptocurrencies and all that kind of stuff. Like it's just so different, and it's like I'm like, okay, this is the future. This is the future. I'm inside the future right
It
now.
is. It's all of our future. You are in the. We are we are pioneers. In 20 years, we're gonna look back and say you were in NFTs in 2022.
Yeah. And the best thing about all this is that if you start off early on, then you kind of position yourself better for the future. Kind of like, when I grew my Instagram and all that kind of social media stuff, it's like once you start early on, then it's like you already have leverage over, the future already.
That's your
So
brand now. Your NFT is gonna be your next evolution of your brand.
exactly. So what I love about NFTs too is that, you actually combine a lot of NFTs with like, social causes or foundations or, something to help somebody or something or some kind of foundation, right? So what
Yeah.
made you think of like, this is a great way for NFT to like kind of combine forces with good?
Sure. So
Yeah.
when I first started NFT, I was learning. I didn't know what, like everybody else, we were learning as we went, right? And I saw the ups, I saw the downs, and I typically was always on Instagram, and I'm sure you too, right? That's kind of
Yeah.
where we do our damage. That's where I built my brand. And I don't know, about 4 months ago, my staff kept saying, like, you got to go on Twitter. Twitter is where NFT lives. And I was never on, like, I had Twitter 12 years ago. I registered my Twitter and I didn't use it in 12 years, probably. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't on it. I had 1,000 followers. Like, I didn't, it wasn't my thing. Like, I wasn't usually so vocal. It was more Instagram. But I got on Twitter and I realized, holy fuck, this is like the real deal. This is where NFT really lives. This is where the real people are. You
Yeah.
know, this is where the people that need help or whatever the case is. This is where the community really lives. Instagram's cool, but you're never gonna get that one-on-one connection with someone on Instagram like you do on Twitter. And I started off, I wanted to, once I understood the challenges of NFTs in Twitter, I wanted to use my following and my status to help people. And I
Mhm.
didn't really know how. Then I realized I started buying people's NFTs. And I always knew there was a problem. It was very male oriented NFTs, and it was very first world oriented, but that's just such a small segment of the planet. So I originally started incorporating, you know, featuring females on at NFT Instagram. But I realized like I could do more.
Yeah.
And once I tapped into the Twitter worlds, I never went back to Instagram. Like it really blew my mind. And
Mhm.
I made a promise that I'm going to buy at least one NFT from an unknown artist or rising star artist for every single day for 2022. And
Wow.
I did
Okay.
that. I did that for a reason to prove a point,
Yeah.
actually. So going back about 7 months ago, I was talking to my buddy Terry Crews, and he said to me, and this is what actually inspired me to do what I do now, but buying NFTs.
Mhm.
He said he wanted, when he was trying to get into crypto, he saw it as an equality opportunity, and I didn't understand fully at that point. He said, you know, I'm a big black dude, I'm a celebrity, but
Mhm.
in 2021, I walk out of a department store in New York, and I still can't flag a cab because I'm a big black guy. But crypto has no face to it, right? And then it kind of, a bell went off or a light bulb went off, and I realized we can actually create equality on the planet with NFTs. So
Yes.
what I do is when I buy an NFT every
Mhm.
day, I'll tweet, buy an NFT, I'll get 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 comments every single day. And I'll go through all of them and I'll pick one and I'll base it strictly on the art. I don't go to their profile pictures. I don't want to discriminate. I don't want to pick a male or a female or someone who's socially popular or whatever the case is. I focus strictly on the art.
Yeah.
And I'm collecting people's Genesis pieces, people's first, you know, people who just like, I bought their NFT and they say to me, I can eat this week. And I'm like, what the, you can eat this week? That doesn't make sense. Like, how am I blinded to this? So I kept doing it. And I remember one girl came on one of my spaces and she said, you don't know me, but you bought my NFT with your random NFTs that you buy every day. And she goes, I live in war-stricken Sudan. She goes,
Wow.
we can't get a job because everything's, you know, it's a civil war there. It's just everything's in disarray.
Mhm.
You know, we can't, you know, barely pay our, we can't even pay our rent. We can barely eat. And they were going to be forced to leave the country with refugee status, right? Imagine you lived in America and you live in LA, right? And
Yes.
someone's like, well, get the fuck out because, you know, this is a war and that's where you're from. Like, you don't want that opportunity. You don't want that. And she goes, you bought my NFT and you didn't realize it, but you actually, what you actually gave me a month of rent and allowed me, and that money allowed me to feed my family. Now I'm a full-time artist and I live and I didn't have to leave my country.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy, it blew my mind. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I had no clue that this is what I was doing. And then I just started getting deeper and deeper and deeper into it. And I
Mhm.
realized like I have a lot of fucking power and I can
Yeah.
change someone's life. And I know when I'm buying their NFT, I know the money is going directly to them. And it's not like a donation, like, oh, you're poor, here's a donation. Like, it's empowering them. It gives them confidence. It gives them dignity. You know, like and these people put their like emotions and they're hardened to this one of one NFT. And sometimes it could be as little as $20 for NFT. And they may have spent a year on that. And you don't realize that $20 will allow them to eat. So the way I look at NFTs and the way I'm trying to put it out there in the universe is there's no face to NFTs, there's no color, there's no sex, there's no economic status, there are no borders. All you need is a phone and an internet connection.
Yeah.
And you can now enter into the world of NFT. So I really believe, everyone looks at this, monetary opportunity, making money, the future of the world, but we're forgetting that how we can, it's so easy for us to help people now. And I really think that my mission now is to create equality in the NFT space.
Yeah, that's amazing, because I remember I reached out to you a while back and I was like, oh my God, this is the future. I really believe in it. And I noticed that there is very male driven, and now you guys have a whole program helping women in the whole NFT space. Is Jeremy Fall, right? So he's handling all that, and that's amazing, because
Well,
I'm
yeah,
like,
he was creative director. He was my creative director for NFT, and we started doing that together. We
yeah.
started focusing. Did we do you, or maybe we were going to do you? I think.
Yeah, I was about to do mine way back, and then some of the artists, I guess they were going through some stuff, and now I'm back at it. I'm
I feel like
I want to get
we've
back
been
at
talking for a year, wanting to work together, and we just we're both such
it. Yeah,
busy people, we never got aligned. But now
I
it's
know.
this is even better.
Yeah, this is the best thing, because I'm I want my NFTs too. But I have my
Yeah.
causes too. I don't know, I explained it to you before about I'm wanting to change the law against leak crimes, so that people who are leaking and hacking private images and videos of women or little girls, or I mean even boys and men, right? That they're getting more severe sentencing, because it's basically digital rape, it's basically online sex trafficking.
Fucked up.
And these people are getting sentenced as hackers, as someone who's committing a hack crime on an email or something, but they're actually committing a sex crime. And it's not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
one woman or one little girl, it's hundreds and thousands, and they're making millions and millions of dollars of just uploading to porn sites and Google.
How is this happening in 2022 though? That's what I don't understand.
Well, I believe that the laws are so outdated. The Justice Department is outdated. The lawyers, the judges, everything is so outdated right now, and they haven't kept up with technology. And the laws need to keep up with technology, but someone that's a hacker, they're already up to date on all the technology, all of the
Oh yeah.
stuff, so they know what they're doing. But the Justice Department, all
Your
that whole
initiative?
system is kind of outdated. So yeah.
This is your initiative right now?
What was that?
This is one of your initiatives right now you're doing?
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
working on.
awesome
So
to do. How can I help? Can I help?
well, call up the Justice Department and say,
Oh,
hey, we need laws. Go knock on the
let's
door.
go. Power of numbers. Hi, it's
Yeah.
Jason Uldouz.
Yeah, I'm in
This is
the
my
process
goon.
of writing a legislation and all that, so it could actually be done. But when I talk to politicians, and when I talk to lobbyists and stuff, they're all like, well, what we want is money, or a major name celebrity attached to it, and that's basically what gives them incentive to changing the laws. But I'm like,
Like that's fucking bullshit. If
yeah.
it needs to be changed, you shouldn't have to. There should be some sort of motive. It's if it requires change, and you're hearing it from a beautiful human being telling you this is actually digital rape, or however you want to cause it, that's got to change.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then later on, what happens too is that the sites, they have a system in place. It's called the fingerprint stamp system, but nobody wants to implement it unless you're know someone that can pull some strings. So if this happens to a little 12-year-old girl, and they're sending emails to these sites please take down this video, I was raped in this video, and my rapist recorded it and then profited from it, they take weeks to take it down, and then it gets re-uploaded the next day. Like, it just makes no sense. Why aren't there
I didn't actually never knew this.
Yeah,
I
nobody
can't
really
believe.
knows. And like, I think
Yeah, it's
a lot of
wild.
people, even like when they surf the internet, they like look, at porn or whatever. They don't even know that a lot of the content on there is without consent, because anyone can upload. All they need is just an email address. And it's crazy how like everything else has so many laws and restrictions, but these sites like in Google, everything, it's like you can upload anything, do anything you want. So
That blows my mind.
yeah.
Like crazy how like naive we are. That never crossed my mind, and that's just it's like scary actually.
Yeah,
What
it
if
is.
it's an auto, God forbid, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it could happen to anyone. Like right now, we could be talking and somebody's hacking into this whole system.
I mean,
You know?
I've been hacked a lot. I get hacked like once a week, unfortunately, just given the nature of who I am and the business I'm in. I've been a victim for, I've lost a significant amount of money, but like that's the nature of the beast sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like the great thing about the internet and NFTs and the future. It's like you have your free, you get your financial freedom, you get your independence, you can become who you are, but you can be anonymous too, right? And you can do all this shit behind a profile picture or a
Yeah.
screen, and that's got to stop, because when there's so much good opportunity in the space, it brings the bad too, unfortunately. And people like to they like to exploit for money, and it's just,
Yeah.
how did you stop that though? Like we live, like the cyber world is so insanely big, and like how can you put a stop to that? Even if you go to put a law in place to what you're trying to achieve here,
Mhm.
like how do we actually stop it?
Well, for instance, there's a couple hackers. They already got, the FBI found them and everything. And then when they got sentenced as hackers. And they can come out and basically, stalk the people that they want to stalk, or keep uploading or profiting for people and hacking them. But they're not being a registered sex offender, so you can't even
They
like.
should be a registered sex offender.
Basically, yeah, that's one option. And then another, like the big picture for people that are hiding behind the screens, like, you and me, we're in front of the screen, we're showing our faces, and everybody knows who we are, right? But anyone can be behind the screen, and they can intentionally want to hurt you and send you death
Scary.
threats or
But
whatever,
there's
right?
no consequence. I get death threats all the time. Like they'll threaten to slit my kid's wrist, but there's no or throats, but there's no consequences. I don't even know who these people are. What am I going to do?
So a great idea would be to, have everyone upload their ID when they create accounts, and like have their information in place, because this is not right. Like there needs to be some kind of order, some kind of security online. Because this is like how a lot of crimes are happening right now. It's all online based.
Cybercrime. It's cowardly actually.
Yeah.
You do this, you're anonymous, you steal, you fuck with people, and then there's no consequences because no one who knows who you are. And they use VPNs and they use fake names, and I don't know. We can go into deeper on that, because
Yeah.
I understand the challenge from the NFT space. I didn't
Yeah.
obviously know from digital rape. I don't know how you want to call it, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's scary. That's fucked up.
Yeah, but basically it needs to be just like they need to be sentenced as someone who's committing a sex crime, and not just like
Absolutely.
a hack crime, like they hack somebody's email or something. It's so crazy to me. Like, wow,
Crazy. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
So yeah, if you can help
I'd
me
love
any
to.
way you can.
I'd love to. We'll talk after this. I'd
All
love
right.
to.
Cool. So let's talk about other stuff too, because I'm like, I have you on here. I want to ask you so many questions about so many different things. I like read up on you, and I'm so impressed with all of the stuff that you accomplished at such a young age. And I'm like, wow, like I like knew about the whole NFT stuff, but then I was like, oh my God, he was a manager of Evander Holyfield, and he works with all these athletes. And then on top of that, like he owned like Playline and Leverage, and like he used to be like you used to have like, well, buy content for like the TV station in Toronto, right? So
It's been a ride, man. It's been a ride.
yeah.
To be honest, I've liked to try to stay under the radar my whole life. I love business. I love succeeding. I love building stuff. Um, and I built Playline with my business partners, the former UFC champ of the world, Michael Bisping,
Mhm.
Roy Hibbert, who's the former two-time NBA All-Star, and my partner Aaron Ruskin. And we built Playline together about 6 years ago and built it to the largest sports lottery in the world. And then COVID hit, and one day went from millions of dollars in revenue to nothing because sports ended in a day. So
Wow.
I was like, holy fuck, now what? Like, I just built my dream. I've accomplished everything I wanted to, and I'm back to square one and back to zero. And that, it was a stroke of luck though that opened the door to get into NFTs for me,
Mhm.
which was the ultimate sacrifice, I think, because NFTs, like, they've changed the world and they will continue to change the world. And it's such a monumental change, and that's why I said, like, when we built that NFT, like, it was a cultural revolution.
Mhm.
We haven't seen this since the dot-com boom, and we're old enough. I think we're the same age. We're old enough to remember that, but we were too young enough to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And this is our turn.
Like,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But now we do. Now it's our turn, and
Yeah.
we're the talent now in this space. And I think it's we've just scratched the surface. Like, we're at the bottom of the first inning NFT still.
Yeah. I mean, it's in the beginning still, so that's why I'm like, I want to get in faster. Come on, hurry up.
Uh, but they're smart for not rushing it. You
Yeah.
actually are, because let people make mistakes,
Mhm.
right? This industry is not going anywhere. It's only getting bigger,
Yeah.
and you're learning from it. Like, you can tell you processed it. You could have jumped in day one and just went for a cash grab, but you did, and I respect you for that. Which is why I told you, when you're ready, I'll be there for you.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. I'm like, yes, let's do it. I'm ready.
Right now, cut the fucking
Yeah, right now. Let's just talk right now. Let's get it done. But yeah, I'm like, to me, I'm just like, wow, like you accomplished so much. And it's like, what's so crazy to me, like everybody knows like Mark Cuban and like these names, because yeah, like you said, they're in the public eye kind of thing. But with your name, like you done so much, but it's good still because you could still kind of like be out there if you want, but then you can also like be in the background or behind the scenes.
You
But
can.
like what do you think is like your next project, and what are you gonna get into next? What is like the goals next?
The next goals are keep evolving the NFT space, and,
Hmm.
and changing the world now with NFTs. I'd like to change the world with NFTs, and it sounds crazy to think, but I have in the context of NFT, I have that power. I need more people to join me and believe in the mission, understand it, not just do it because you're a celebrity, but like understand that shit. There's people in this world that are actually amazing artists and amazing human beings, but unfortunately they grew up in bad environments or difficult environments or third world countries, and we don't realize how lucky we are,
Hmm.
living in North America, and every opportunity is there for us. So I'd like to continue evolving the space and educating people, and I'm putting in more emphasis on educating people, because now I've learned enough, and I've made enough good choices and bad choices to know, how to advise people or give, or guide people. And I never did before, because before I give someone any advice in business or life, like, I like to make sure I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I have, and like I said, we're in the bottom of the first inning, and like my real focus is on the NFT community right now, and just educating people and onboarding more people to come in. Like, when we built the Instagram account, like, we were at 1.7 million followers, and like that, like, we were, because we were the only one, and we were just,
Yeah.
we were just so strong. Like, we were growing like 25,000 followers a day organically, never spent a dollar
Yeah.
on ads or anything. That just goes to show, how important the mission we were on. So my goal is to continue that
Hmm.
and help, and help, but not like, it's easy to give your money, right? It's so easy to do that, but it's a lot harder to actually do it yourself and buy someone's art and give them a platform, because maybe they don't have a platform for themselves, but they deserve one, and give them my platform to showcase who they are.
Yeah. Exactly. So, okay, I'm for sure gonna help you and your mission and all that good stuff. But if anybody else wants to join, like, how can they help you in this?
You know what? Right now, the best way is just DM me on Twitter.
Hmm.
Um, I get thousands of DMs a day, but I do my best to try to go through them all, and just support an artist. Just support an artist from a third world country, a female, someone who clearly doesn't have the same opportunities if you had based on just where they were born, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Feels good to do good.
of course. Yeah,
It feels
like,
good to change someone's life. It's you can spend think about that. You can spend $50
hmm,
on someone's NFT, and it's not like you're blowing your money. You have something tangible.
hmm,
You can change someone's fucking life for $50, and you can allow them to maintain their dignity while doing it because you purchased their work, and there's so much emotion in their work, and like you really connect with that people. There's so many people like that I bought NFTs from. Like I have hundreds, if not thousands. I like to know the people. You know, I hit them up after. I'm like, amazing. Like, I'm so glad to be a collector, and they're like freaking out. Oh my god, Jam bought my
yes,
work, and I'm like, saying like, I'm so happy to support you. I'm so
yeah,
happy. It means so much that like I can do this for you, and
yeah,
then like focus on compassion. Like I'm really focused on compassion and empathy, and like I've done so well financially, and I just giving my money away is not the answer
no,
for
yeah,
doing, helping people. Like when I buy someone's NFT, I'll go through these thousands of comments and then I'll post it on my Twitter, which
hmm,
my game is like pretty serious. And now they're now being exposed to 100,000 people. Like it's pretty amazing kind of the ecosystem I'm creating in my Twitter account. And that's like that's I would just DM me, buy someone's art, show me that you care, talk to me. Like I prefer to talk to just regular people. Like I was always raised to treat the CEO the same as a janitor, and like I fuck with the janitors more honestly because like you know what you're gonna get with someone
yeah.
in that position, and that's what NFT is all about right now. Is just like helping people, and it's all community based. It really is.
And for instance, somebody wants to follow you on Twitter. Where can they find you?
JF_NFT.
And then is there like any other platforms that they can find you on, or is it mainly like Twitter?
Well, yeah, I'm. Well, you know me from Instagram. I'm
Yeah.
at JF on Instagram, and I own at NFT on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. I have a Snapchat partnership. Like I would say, anywhere you see the ad sign NFT,
Yeah.
that's me. That's me.
Yeah, he's everywhere, you guys.
I'm everywhere in the NFT space. Only.
He's
But
like inside the art, like with eyes, like
I really here's the thing, like which was crazy because every project came through us in some capacity. Every artist, I feel like, so we
yeah,
were able to see what was going to happen before it happened because like we were vetting these projects or whatever. We were vetting them out, so it's pretty cool to see how it evolved. When you're kind of like seeing a glimpse of the future a bit. It's pretty cool, actually.
yeah. No, it's super cool. I like love everything about it, and especially like when I was growing up, I was doing a lot of art and stuff like that. And I remember my mom was like, "Oh, why are you gonna focus on art? You're not gonna make
No
money
future
in
there.
it." Yeah, and typical Persian mom, like become a dentist or doctor, and I was
Typical
like,
Jewish mom too. Trust me.
yeah, my mom is a
Same thing.
dentist, and I'm over there like 12 years old, like learning how to
Being
do dental
creative.
stuff. And I'm like, I want to do art, and I'm an
You know
artist.
why you did it right? You know why you did it right?
What?
Because you hit me up early.
Yeah,
You were early in NFT, and you
yeah,
still haven't dropped anything
no.
because you realize the value of your brand. You drop an NFT, it doesn't do well,
Hmm.
but there's a multitude of reasons. It could be a bear market. It could be ETH is down or up or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
You have one shot. You go in there, you drop your NFT,
Hmm.
fails, and it may be out of your control. You're a victim now. Your brand is a victim,
Oh,
right?
damn.
So
That's
people are
not good.
looking. You can drop a collection, and this is how NFT works. You can drop a collection
Hmm.
and make $10. or 10,000, a collection of 10,000, whatever.
Yeah.
Even if you make 9 million of that 10 million because you didn't sell out, that's still a failure, right? So it's all about, yeah. And beyond that, if your floor drops on your project because you're not fulfilling your obligations that you promised people when they bought your NFT, that's still going to hurt you, right? So there's a lot more to an NFT than just dropping art. You know,
Yeah. And with like floor, we're not talking about like pelvic floor now, like
we're talking about NFT floor.
Start dropping like it's hot.
No, not that one.
Yeah, that's the wrong kind of floor. But I didn't know that, but there's so many like aspects of it. Like what's so tricky with the whole NFT thing, it's like, yeah, I know it's the future, I know all that, but at the same time, because it's like the future kind of thing, you really don't know like what's gonna happen, how is it gonna play out. And with a lot of people, they're creating NFTs and you really don't know what's gonna like take off and what's not, right? Like there's no formula to like make it successful, basically.
Really, you don't, because the industry changes every day.
Yeah.
And again, we're in year 2 or ish, you know what I mean? Like it's just like the beginning still. So you can be the biggest artist in the world, and if you drop your project and there's a war or like the war going on now, like there's so many variables to consider. And no matter how good you are, you may not succeed, and or it could be the opposite. Like you just be a first time artist and whatever you put out there just blew up. Like look at Bored Apes.
Yeah.
Think about it. Bored Apes launched about a year ago, and it didn't even sell out. And I don't know, it was $200-300 to buy one. I just bought the most expensive ape set on chain for 800 ETH. And I found it at an NFT, and I didn't have the vision to buy that same thing for $300. So it's the beauty of the space is no one fucking knows. I don't care what they tell you. No one knows what's going to happen in the metaverse. No one knows. And that's also what makes it so exciting, because it's so pure and fresh. And we have the opportunity to write that story. So that's why I want to help people and, buy NFTs every day. Cause like, I want to, when I die and they look at my story, I don't want them to say I found an NFT. I want them to say like, I help people change their lives.
Yeah. And I think right now, like people are like, oh, NFT and, all of the great stuff that you accomplish, but they don't maybe necessarily like know all of the good that you're doing with your life. Like, like you're telling me right now, like about all of the good that you're doing with like investing in like NFTs, that you love the art or whatnot. And it's helping all these people, helping, women or people of different colors and races and all kinds of stuff, which is so interesting because I think people, they just see like the digital stuff and they don't really read into anything, or like that's why I think this podcast is so great, because it's like it's giving you the opportunity to kind of show who you are as a person, instead of just like, oh, that guy on there, like JF on Instagram or on Twitter or whatever, like they don't know, they just see the NFTs.
Get to know me, like look, I got to know you. You're a beautiful human being, but if I didn't speak to you and we just like went back and forth on DMs like we did, right? Like I wouldn't know you're a beautiful human being. And that's like with NFTs, like I do spaces. I don't know if you do Twitter spaces, but they're really great.
Yeah.
You should come on with me. I got all the amazing Junes, all my Persians that come follow and join my room. So they love to see. That's the way to get into the community, like touch people. Like it takes such little time of your life, but you don't realize the impact you're making on them. Like remember before you were famous? Remember before you had any followers? And someone else was famous and like you're like, I want to be like them, or whatever the case is, or you comment on their Twitter and they liked it or responded and you like were so excited, mind blown, right?
Yeah.
So I remember those moments when I was that person, right? So I try to respond to as many people as I can. I try to be on the spaces, the smallest spaces, right? Because I know they need the help. I try to respond to everyone's DMs, right? And like that's the easiest thing we can do. That's like low hanging fruit. It's so simple for us.
I mean, with Twitter, I always like follow people back, or like, sometimes I DM them and I'm saying like hi and stuff like that. I try as much as possible, but there's only one me, so I'm like,
Yeah, that's the problem. You get too
constantly.
big. It's like I can't respond to everyone. It's not
Yeah.
like, oh, 12 people comment and now it's 12,000, you know?
Yeah, you're just like, holy moly. Like, and then sometimes you get like people like, oh, you missed me. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's not like I did it like intentionally, like it's a
But
lot
it's
of
nice you can
work.
connect with them though. It is a lot of work, but like put the extra work in and you realize how much it impacts someone's life.
Yeah, when you were telling me about the $20, like you bought somebody's NFT for only $20 and how much that $20 or $50 can do. And I just remember like growing up in Sweden and I was just like really broke when I started my university and all that stuff. And I literally had only like $50 a month to like,
Ah, mhm.
for groceries. And I was just like, oh my God, I only have $50. And which is so funny because it was like I was broke, but I saved all my money and I bought my first apartment. So at 18, I had my first
Wow.
apartment, but I was broke. Like I had no
Yeah.
food to eat. And I was
But you have
eating like
apartments, you're good.
noodles.
Let's get shelter.
Yeah, I was like, at least I'm living good, but like I can't eat anything. It was just the
You're
dumbest
an
thing.
independent woman though. You're a power woman.
Yeah,
That's what you
like,
are. You're a fucking power woman.
but it was so
You
funny because
are. And that's what NFT needs though. They need people
yeah,
like you. They need
for sure.
independent females to show like you can do it.
You
I did it.
can. I
You
mean, I
can't.
lived off of like noodles and dollar pizzas, and that was it. And the dollar pizzas were like, they were like the fancy dinners, like, whoa, you know? So, like, I
They
totally
don't
get it.
realize what we've been through, right?
Yeah.
You look like you have an amazing life, right? But they don't understand what it took to get here. And I try to remind people, like I not only was I, I nothing. I owed the bank like hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. I was taking money out of my house, like I was struggling to survive,
Yeah.
and I just remember that feeling. And I try to remind myself like not to change because you're in a different situation in life, because you never know when you can get back to that. And I tell people all the time, like, you think it's so hard, but it is hard. But look at me. I
Yeah.
started with one follower. I didn't get any no one gave me a boost, right? So you can do it too.
Yeah.
Because I was once you. I was once this with no followers, with no relationships, with no resources, with no money, but I just believed in myself. And I just
Yeah.
believed in myself, just like you believe in yourself. You look at $50 a week to live and you're like, how can someone live off that? But look at you now.
Yeah.
You're running an
And
amazing podcast, and you're such an intelligent person, and people
thank
don't
you.
understand like the struggle was real.
The struggle has always been real, and that's what I think a lot of people don't understand, like all of the sleepless nights and all of the sacrifices, and
All
they
the
just see
sacrifices.
the exterior of like, oh my God, this person have these many followers or they making this much money. They don't know what it took to get there and
Mm,
how hard it's been. And for
yeah. It
anyone that
still
wants
is.
to be successful, it's not going to be easy. It's you got to put in the work. There's no
Not
shortcut.
supposed to be though, or everybody would be successful, right?
True. And like I think people think, oh, there's shortcuts or they only got it because of their good looks or their connections or their family. And like in my experience, like family, friends, like those were the people that did not support at all. And you just gotta go.
Do yourself, because everyone
Yeah.
has their own fucking problems that you don't know about, right? You
Yeah.
just gotta believe in yourself. You have one life. You have one fucking life. Do you want to be a sheep or do you want to be a wolf? And
Yeah.
you get to decide.
And you could be a
And
nice
it
wolf.
be a nice wolf too.
You don't have to be like
But
a
but but
bloodthirsty one. Like
you don't
like
have
a like a good healthy
like
like
a baby wolf, a cute baby
yeah.
wolf.
You could be like a lone wolf that goes around and helps other
Just
people,
the helpful wolf, like
Yeah.
defending humans, packs of wolves coming.
You could be the nice pack of wolf.
I want to be the nice. I want to be the nice wolf.
Like a
But
vegetarian wolf. Yeah.
I like meat too. I don't know. I love steak, but
Yeah,
I
me
would do.
too.
I would sacrifice for the people.
Yeah. I like meat too much. Like I spent a whole month just like eating meat because I think my iron was low. So yeah, I need my meat. you know.
I don't go a day without meat. I actually went vegetarian. I went vegan, sorry, for like 4 or 5 months. I felt great, but it was the hardest thing. Like it was
Yeah.
so difficult.
Well, I did the whole vegan thing, and I noticed like I started getting injured a lot. Like, so I think something about the meat, or like it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be actual meat, but like fish or some kind of proteins of meat. Like you need it, your body needs it,
Chicken.
but everybody's different. So maybe it works for me like this certain way, and then somebody else's stuff, something else.
Everyone's different. I did a cool program recently. Carter, my buddy Carter, Paris Hilton's husband, actually recommended to go see this doctor, and he takes your blood work and he basically tells you every single thing, every organ in your body that's wrong with you, or that's lacking this or lacking that. It was like, and he basically said to me, like, I work 24/7, like,
Yeah.
NFT does not stop, and I'm sure you do too. I got 3 kids, but I just go. I got the best wife in the world that supports me, so it's a lot easier. But he said to me, and like people like us, we travel a lot, we're constantly working, and he goes, your biological body is the age of a 59-year-old. And I'm like, that's
What?
what? Like, for
How?
real?
Yeah.
And he goes, if you keep doing what you're doing for a few more years, you're going to die. Because that's how hardcore it goes. So he basically broke down like everything I was insufficient, all my issues, and gave, I don't know if have you ever done the IV for like vitamins?
Yeah.
IV. So
Mhm.
he kind of just fed me with like everything I'm deficient in, and just constantly serving me now. But it's like you work so hard to be successful, and then
Yeah.
when you get there, you're like, holy shit, I've been like sacrificing my body and my health, and like I
Yeah.
got 3 kids. I got twins. I know you have a daughter, right?
No, I don't have any kids.
You all the kids? Oh my
No.
god, I thought you did. I got 3 kids. I have twins,
Mhm.
or 2.5 twin boys, Cruz and Rain.
Yeah.
My babies, and I have my daughter Navy, who's 8 months, and juggling that, right, and trying to build an empire. The last thing you think about is what you're eating, what you're drinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're focusing on success, and people like us, like the law of attraction. Like you want something, I don't give a fuck who's in your way. Like we're gonna get it.
Yeah. There's like no other way.
No
Yeah.
other way. There no is not an answer in life, and I'm trying to take that same mentality and like show people, like, if you just fucking believe in yourself and you just say no, and you don't take no for an answer, like you're gonna get there.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And then another thing is too, like, when you're on the go, the easiest thing is just to grab something quick to eat, because you're not even
Yeah.
thinking about the food or the health or the nutrition. Like this whole COVID thing was kind of like a blessing in the disguise, like, because I had so many people around me passing away, and I don't know what
sorry.
happened to my body, but all of a
By
sudden
the way, I have COVID right now.
oh yeah.
I'm currently in quarantine.
Yeah, well,
In a
like,
hotel.
it's good that we're doing Zoom,
Yeah. I would love to meet you in person, but
yeah. But yeah, like, I mean, you still look like you're doing good considering you got like
other than this
COVID.
big ass beard I got going, and my quarantine beard, but
Yeah, you could just like
coming
fold up the
gray.
beard and
Oh,
it turns into
well,
like
it's coming gray.
oh,
Are we still here?
yeah, I'm still here. You could
Okay.
just fold up the beard and it turns into like a mask or something,
I mean, I would. My wife calling me, baby. I'm doing an iPad. I'm doing an iPad. I'm doing a
Podcast.
I'll call you back. I love you. Sorry, she kept
Oh,
calling.
sweet. I wish I had a wife. That's like so good. Like a
Wife's the best, man.
is she like a housewife, or like is she like a
Yeah.
businesswoman? What does she do?
She's a housewife, but she would like to work, but
Yeah.
work like I want to raise my children the right way, right? And
Yeah.
I work from home most of the time, so like I'm a very hands-on father.
Yeah.
But
That's
like we're just a team. That's what people like. We don't fight. We just like, I don't cheat. Like I just love my wife. I love my family, and we're just like 50-50, right?
Yeah.
Every dollar I make, we make. Everything she accomplishes, we accomplish, and that's how we raise our children together in that
That's
same
how it should
formula.
be.
And that's how it works. If
Yeah.
there's imbalance or the guy makes the money and he feels like he's more powerful, well,
Yeah.
get rid of that guy, because that's already the big first mistake you're having.
Well, yeah, I think for me as a woman, it's like hard to find someone that's like, like supports you with your career and with your things. And also like, eventually when there's like a family unit and there's kids or something, then it's going to automatically be on me as a woman, like to do everything, right? So like I think just finding a balance, I think like everything right now in society is kind of off with everything,
Oh,
like
right.
like women, men, and
100%
like
right.
the laws and the races and like equality everywhere.
The world's in a weird place, and I think that's kind of like NFTs. Like in my mind, it's like refreshing, like restarting. Like let's hit
Yeah.
the reset button and let's try something new and go
Yeah.
in a different direction in life, because whatever we're doing now is not working.
Yeah. But I think it's a good thing because it's like kind of waking people up to like, hey, this is what's going on and it needs to be fixed because it's really bad right now.
It is. It is. But like everything, you gotta see a little rain before the sunshine comes out. So I think it's a blessing in disguise. And I try to look at everything like positive. So even
Yeah.
when bad things happen, like I see the good in it, and that's just how I train my brain. And there's good coming out of COVID. There really is a lot of good. There's a lot of bad, but
Yeah,
it's part of the process.
for sure. But I'm not gonna keep you on here much longer
I
because I
could
think
talk to you forever.
yeah, we could just like stay
We have
on like
a good chemistry.
so yeah, right? Like I'm gonna keep like all your links in the description. So if anybody wants to follow Jason, they can follow him on his Twitter, and his link will be in the description and all that good stuff. But thank you so much, Jason, for
Oh,
joining
you're
me today.
amazing.
You're such a
Love you.
sweetheart,
You're
and
awesome.
like this was like the best podcast ever. I'm gonna like talk to you forever.
Same. As I said, I don't like doing podcasts. I like to
Yeah,
maintain my privacy, and I like to just be like a family man, a family dad. And
yeah,
but like I say, this was a pleasure. It was such a honest, you know, real conversation, and I think that's what we're missing a little bit in this world, is just the realness.
yeah.
So I thank you for
Keeping it
having
real.
me. And you're a real mother. I was gonna say you're a real motherfucker, but you are.
Going in there, fuck it
Yeah,
up, shit.
yeah, like
With my pelvic floor.
let's go. Well, we're gonna do NFTs. I'm gonna help you when you're ready, and we'll
Okay,
do it.
for sure.
Sounds
Thank you
good?
so much.
My
Um,
pleasure.
okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.
You're awesome.
All right,
See
bye.
ya.
Bye.